Hey everyone, it's April Schluter from The Cheerful Mind. I am here with one of my awesome clients, Madeline Schwarz, who is going to share this awesome conversation tool that she's created. And it's just amazing because I get to work with all these people who do these really, really creative and awesome things. And so before we get started, I wanted Madeline to introduce herself so that you guys know what she does. And it's pretty freaking awesome. So Madeline, thanks for being here.
Hi, thanks, April. Hello, everyone. I am a communication coach, and I work with a lot of people in creative and tech fields, and I help them get over their fears of public speaking and communicate more effectively with their teams so that they can get their really awesome creative work out into the world.
I love that. And communication is so important. It covers everything, and it's the basis of all relationships. So anyways, you've got a really awesome tool that you want to share with the world. And I love this because these are those things that I used to play with when it was like, ooh, does this boy like me type of deal. I don't remember what they're called, but what do you call it?
Yeah, so this is a fortune teller. Some people called them cootie catchers back in middle school or grade school whenever you were making these. And this one I just called the magical conversation tool because it really is a fun, magical way to get your team talking and create dialogue when you're stuck and not sure what to do, or when you have different opinions and can't seem to move forward.
Awesome. So we're going to test this thing out and see how it works, right? I'm going to pull one of my problems out of the hat and see if we can have a conversation and get a little closer towards some clarity and resolution.
That is the plan. Thanks.
Okay, so you tell me what I need to do.
Okay, so why don't you share someplace that you are stuck or feel challenged right now, and then we will play.
Okay. So one of the things that it's one of these things that I struggle with, but then sometimes I just set it aside. It keeps on coming in and out, and I'm not really sure what I want to do about it. But, about a year ago, I said, I'm going to write my second book, and I have actually concepts for a second and a third book, but I just can't seem to get myself to move forward with it. And I'm almost questioning, should I even write a second or third book? And, I kind of want to, but I don't want to. So I'm not really sure how I should move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good one?
Yeah, it sounds like you have too many ideas, which is something that a lot of creative people are really challenged by, what to focus on first. So let's take that and give this a whirl.
Okay.
All right, so the first thing I want you to do is pick a number 1 through 4.
Okay, 3.
Okay, and I'm gonna count it out just like you used to do with these. So 1, 2, 3. Now let's see if you can see those numbers.
There's a 4, 7, and an 8, and a 3. I'm gonna go lucky number 7.
Okay, lucky number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Ooh, I have to pick more numbers.
Yep.
Okay. So is that a 1, 2, 5, 6? Let's do, is that a 1?
Yeah.
So I'll pick the 5.
Okay, 5. All right, so now I'm going to open this and ask you the question on the inside. So unlike old school fortune tellers that told you who you were gonna marry or how many kids you were gonna have or what kind of house you were gonna have, this helps you come up with your own answers. So okay. Lucky number 5, the question is, when you have that, what would be different?
Like if I were to go through and have books, what would be different?
Yeah, so when you have book 2 or books 2 and 3,
yeah,
what would be different? Because it sounds like the overwhelm of having too many ideas is making you question whether you should even spend your time writing a book.
Yeah, so I think that being an author, to write one book is that kind of like that first step. But you think about it like kids, right? It's like you do get the first one, and it's like you do the trial and error. But like when you go for second or even a third, there's a little bit of mastery there, and so I feel like it would give me this feeling of like legitimacy maybe in terms of being an author. It's not like I just wrote one, but I was able to consistently move forward with a hobby and it wasn't just like a fluke thing that I did. And so I think it shows, it shows skill, but it's more of it on a consistent level, if that makes any sense. Right?
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it would be moving it
More
beyond
credibility.
to feeling like a full-fledged author and really showing off your expertise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. And I want that, but I'm still not sure. So, okay. Cool. I need to think about that too. Do I have to do more? Is there?
Well, what's fun about this tool is that sometimes you get your answer and know your next step right away. And sometimes it takes a little bit more conversation and a little bit more thinking, and you can keep playing with this. So, you can do this with another person like we're doing here. Although I do have to say it's easier when you're holding it and like two people are face to face, because I do this a lot with people in workshops. You could also keep this on your desk. And, if you're a procrastinator or having trouble figuring out what to do next in your business or in your career, in your personal life, you can use it by yourself and still create that sense of dialogue where it gets you to stop and pause and really give more thought to how you're making decisions and what's important.
I really, really like that. Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure that there's more questions to ponder as we go through this. Cause I think even just opening my eyes about that, it's like, okay, so I want to feel like a more full-fledged author by this, but like, is that really going to, do I want to do it just for that? Or, I mean, I feel like I would want to say that I have something that I don't feel has been communicated out in the world that I want to make sure that I share. And there's probably some other reasons that I want to look at. And it was interesting that was the first thing that came up for me when I answered that. So it is, even without going to another question, I'm kind of thinking like, I really need to understand why I want to write the book in the first place. And, is it something because it's something external that I want people to think that I'm legit because I have more than one book, or is it truly because I have something that I want to share? And that's really important for me to think about. So that's kind of cool. That is a cool tool.
Yeah.
And it's so pretty. Look at that. Like, the colors are amazing, and I want one.
I'm gonna mail you one, April.
You're gonna mail me one. Okay, super fun. Well, what if people like want to try this out? How can they get a chance at playing this cool miracle question thingy?
Yeah, they can actually download this on my website and print it out themselves so that they can play with it and bring it to work and keep it on their desk and help them make decisions and move forward with their projects and start more productive conversations with their teammates.
Awesome. And I'm sure we'll share a link below in this thread and all that stuff, but do you want to tell everybody how people can find you?
Yes, everyone can find me at MadelineSchwarzCoaching.com, and I would love to hear from you and hear how you use this, or what else you use to create conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and this isn't all that you do, right? This figuring out how to have creative conversations. What other types of things, what other types of work do you have out there? Because I know that you do workshops a lot and all these other different things. Like, what type of services do you have?
I do workshops both on team communication, where we get to play with these, and then I do a lot of workshops on public speaking and presentation skills, and take a really fun look at that subject from an introvert's perspective. I always like to tell people that, but really introduce more play and more process into public speaking. So I do those workshops for companies and organizations, and then work with people one-on-one to help them present their work more effectively, enjoy that experience, and create more collaborative work environments on their team.
That's awesome. Yeah. And are there any sort of particular types of people who could really, really benefit from the work that you do? I know that you mentioned the introvert idea, and that might be one part of it, but are there any other identifiers of people who could really benefit from the work that you're putting out?
Thanks for asking. So I work with a lot of designers, creative directors, writers, people in marketing and in tech. And usually there are people who are really, really good about the creative side of their jobs, are great problem solvers, but struggle to articulate their ideas. And that's where I can help them fill that gap to get better at actually being able to communicate their vision and show other people how all the cool things that they're doing.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's awesome. Cool. Is there anything else that you want people to know before we say goodbye?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Woohoo. All right. Yeah, like we've both got a little bit of the reds. So great. So, all right, guys, I hope you took some really great information away from this. Go download your, I don't even know what it's called. I'm like, your cootie catcher or whatever you want to call it, but it's a super cool tool. I can't wait to get mine, and hope you guys have a really great day. Thanks.
Bye.